Central.
Prime Minister.
Yes, go ahead. You're ready.
All right, Prime Minister, this is the groundbreaking for the... Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Prime Minister, for being here. This is actually the groundbreaking for the Breaton to Nagahead Road. It is a $2.4 billion project which will last over 16 months. The contractor is S&G Paving. We're expecting not just roadworks but also sidewalks, drains and water line. And I want Mr. Varden Downer to give you some more on the technical aspects of the project. Mr. Downer.
Thank you, Minister. Prime Minister, as Minister Morgan says, this is part of integrated infrastructure. As you know, you have been pushing that we don't just do roads, but it also includes water line as well. And so it's actually here already. We've been doing sidewalks, adequate sidewalk, as well as fiber optic ducts for fiber cable as part of the National Broadband Initiative. The project actually runs for approximately 3 kilometers from Nagahead. We will be improving on a continuation of the road from Bayside to Nagahead. We'll be taking it from there, coming towards right at this intersection here, which is Breaton and Hellshire Road, going up Hellshire Road all the way to the final turnoff into Greater Portmore, that I think is called Southeast Street, going inside there. It will be 4-lane roadway with raised median so that the divided 4-lane movement for safety reasons. In addition to that, we will be improving the intersection. We'll be putting traffic signals at the relevant locations. It's part of the whole process as well. The traffic management is something we have spent a lot of time looking at. It's going to be a little bit difficult. However, what we plan to do is to do some improvement to Breaton Parkway, and that's of course the Nagahead Extension Road here, so that the traffic, when we begin to do the drainage works that will require us to partly close the road by Nagahead, the traffic will be able to move through a systematic way, both morning and evening, to come through that particular section, widen a part of Breaton Parkway to get the traffic around. Because Portmore, as you know, is a dormitory community. In the evenings and in the mornings, heavily trafficked. So we have spent a lot of time looking at that with our traffic team, and we take on board any suggestion, recommendation from the various stakeholders. So that is pretty much in a nutshell what the project is about. We do hope to ensure that we brief all the stakeholders as we go along, including the municipality, the people's representative, the members of parliament, and ensure that we continue in that particular vein. So that in a nutshell is where we are. There's a limited amount of land acquisition. There are some utility relocation, including the JPS poles that will have to be moved. They are part of the process. That process is expected to start very shortly as the contractor moves to do some work. But for the most part, we will enjoy a 4-lane roadway with adequate sidewalk and for pedestrians to be able to move about safely.
And Prime Minister, this project is a continuation of the integrated development that is taking place in the soon-to-be parish of... Sorry. So this project is a continuation of the integrated development planned by the government to take place in the soon-to-be parish of Portmore. We have already almost 99% finished with the Greens Lane project. So we're doing this one now, and we'll soon be doing the one we got colloquially known as the Portmore entrance, which is right on Mandela Highway. It also includes, as part of our capex expenditure, Arthur Wink Drive, Lady Musgrave, and several other capex projects, including the rehabilitation of the Sandy Gully and its tributaries. So it's about a $30 billion investment by the government in capital expenditure over the next 3 to 5 years.
I'll invite the mayor to say a few words as to how this is going to impact the municipality.
Okay, first of all, Prime Minister, welcome to Portmore, and Minister.
Thank you.
Well, this project is something that started a couple of years ago, and the continuation will really impact the municipality of Portmore, the residents of Southeast, especially St. Catherine, have suffered for a number of years with the type of traffic that we're seeing and the housing development that are taking place within the municipality. Really a severe impact, and with this project continuing, we should see severe improvement along the corridor of the Nagahead to Hellshire Main Road. There are also discussion, Minister with the Minister and Prime Minister, with the development that taking place on Shooters Hill, that the municipality went into some agreement for the road to surpass Fort Street, Greater Portmore, to take in consideration the development that is taking place there, and that is one of the conditions that we approve that development. So I don't know if Mr. Downer is not aware of that it is going a little close to the old Hellshire corner. That's where it's going to be, and also a slip road is going to also created for the people who are going to access the Shooters Hill development. This project is a significant one for the municipality. It is something that we are looking forward to, and based on the letter that I received from you last year in regard to the Municipal Boulevard and the expansion of Municipal Boulevard, and the first leg was slated to take place after this financial year from JUTC down to where the housing entrance and exit is, and then phase 2 take you up to Grange Lane, and then the third part of it was going to be the Mandela, the new entrance. We are looking forward for that, because based on the number of houses that is coming to Portmore, and the amount of people that live into Portmore, and business that is also coming to Portmore, we're looking forward for those corridors to be improved so that we can have free flow of traffic.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank
Of course, we could not avoid the Member of Parliament making his commentary.
My comments will be very few in light of those made by Mayor Thomas. Just a bit of addendum. Just a little addendum to what Mayor said and Minister Morgan. Yes, it is more than welcome for the local traffic. Prime Minister, you have to be here in the peak hours, mornings and afternoons. It is terrible. However, it is not the local traffic alone. This main road here, coming from Bayside through here, it continues through Breaton here, that connects with the bypass in Spanish Town. A number of traffic garden, if you drive down here in the evening, you think it was a highway. So they didn't come into Portmore, they're going through Portmore. That helped to compound the gridlock in Portmore because people use it as a conduit. The same thing also on Breaton Parkway. And yes, Sir Darden, you mentioned about that temporary expansion on Breaton Parkway. A small part of it. It needs to be completed. It was on the program, Prime Minister, from over 3 years ago. And the municipality has documentation that the NAA had agreed. I have correspondence to that effect. I spoke to the former portfolio minister about it. He came, he visited, he acknowledged. But for some miraculous reason, the Breaton Parkway was cropped from the program. I know there is already contractual arrangement, but it has to be looked at in a complete way. If we really want full solution, the Breaton Parkway must be considered an addendum to what is happening here. Suffice it to say, it is more than welcome. We welcome it, and I can assure you, Prime Minister and Minister, that the fullest cooperation will be fostered with the community stakeholder groups to make sure that the relationship between the contractor and the activities on the ground have minimal impact on the residents' day-to-day movement and their day-to-day livelihood from the construction. We know construction generates a lot of dust, a lot of noise, but we'll seek to ensure that that is minimized so that the residents in the meantime is not affected. But in some way, we're more than welcome. And by extension, let me also extend my own welcome, Prime Minister, to this part of Portmore.
I thought you were going to say to the pipe.
I was trying to help you. I was trying to help you out, Prime Minister. You are my friend. I didn't want to put you on the line.
Listen. what the public may not be seeing, even though you see the friendly banter between us, but gathered quite close to us and around us is a very jubilant crowd that is celebrating and welcoming this development for their community. And it appears to be a season because the crowds are decked out very colorfully, but they're all very jubilant that their roads are going to be repaired. And I know that Mr. Jackson would have ensured that he brought persons.
No. They came on their own volition. I was surprised when I saw them.
Well, no matter what, they are here, very jubilant. And so, that's the beauty of our democracy. At the end of it, though, the core of it is that the taxpayers, which are all of us, would be funding $1 billion of investment to expand 2 major road corridors, specifically the Breaton and the Hellshire road corridor. Overall, it's $30 billion of expenditure under a special program called the CapEx program. This program was announced just after the COVID pandemic, just after we came out of COVID. And that's approximately three years or so ago. It's important that the public understands that when it comes to significant capital works, it cannot be done overnight, even in 6 months. These things have to be properly planned, they have to be designed, we have to do environmental impact, we have to do viability surveys, we have to ensure that the expenditure decision is the right one. And oftentimes, as you would have heard from the mayor and the member of parliament, sometimes projects have to be traded off, depending on which project is at a more advanced stage of development. So it's not that a project is going to be scrapped, it's just where the project is in the development cycle. So some projects that are more advanced, they will come first to get access to the budget, and then others will come after. Again, it is important for the public to know, particularly the residents of Portmore, that there is a general transportation and road development plan. And that involves, one, the development of urban centers, new urban centers, and the redevelopment of those that have existed for a long time. And you will see that happening, whether it is the St. Thomas Urban Center or what we're doing for the Boundbrook Center and others that are in the works. And you will notice that wherever we're doing an urban center, there is a road going there, because we don't build roads to nowhere. The roads are a critical link in the network of economic nodes that we are creating. So here already has established economic nodes. Portmore is becoming largely a kind of self-generating and self-contained economic entity operating on its own. Persons, though it is still dormitory in nature, still a large part of its population goes out to work, but there are businesses that are attracting employment within. There's a growing BPO, growing commercial and retail, and we're seeing elements of manufacturing and a growing entertainment sector as well. So Portmore is developing its own natural economic energy, and once that happens, you're going to find local traffic. Member of Parliament Jackson pointed out that some of the traffic would be outside persons trying to use it as bypass routes, but that is going to get narrower as we have a new entrance and we improve the roads along Spanish Town Road and the Mandela Highway and going into Spanish Town. So what we're going to have to contend with would be the locally generated traffic. And so what we're doing is building out those critical corridors. So we have done Grangeley and we're now doing this. The reason why we have to do it is, as mentioned by the mayor, housing is literally exploding in Portmore. What we have done in the creation of the Bernard Lodge project is significant. We could have 10 to 15,000 housing units in addition to an urban center which is going to be created there. So what you don't want to do is to build the houses and then try to fix the roads, because that will be a disincentive for people to actually want to come and live. You want to build the roads so that people realize that traffic is seamless, let me come and live here. You mentioned the Shooters Hill project, which is another major project. It has had some setbacks, but I'm sure that project will go ahead because it's in heavy demand. take a second look to consider how that can be included, which is your main concern, the ingress and egress onto the road. We'll take a look at that just to make sure that that can be accommodated. If it can, we'll try. If not, in the second round, then we do it. So the idea is to build out the urban road infrastructure within Portmore so that it eases traffic, increases convenience, but places Portmore to be an excellent economic hub in Jamaica. And that is really in advance of Portmore becoming a parish. Regardless of the, regardless of the political issues, on a practical point of view, Portmore inevitably will become its parish. The truth is that Portmore its economy could literally exceed the economy of St. Catherine. It's just a reality. It is inevitably going to want to have its own full local governance in terms of being a parish. So, the political debate is immaterial at this moment. The truth is we're going to do all the investments necessary to make Portmore becoming a parish an inevitability. The sense that the status quo should remain always is not something that I believe in. I believe in improving and changing. And it is not just Portmore Fitz. We're seeing the same thing emerging in Negril, where we will have to take a look at the municipal arrangements between, Negril, Saddles, both Westmoreland and Hanover. No, but the same thing, which is the growth of an independent area having its own economic development and how you manage it. In other words, so we have to take a look at how the local governance supports the economic development. And that's really what is happening here. But outside of that, this is big for Portmore. It's a big deal for Portmore. It will reduce the traffic, and in the interim, I'm tasking the NAA to ensure that the greatest level of respect is paid to the commuting public, both passengers, drivers and pedestrians, that they are not unnecessarily inconvenienced. As we saw that there was great care taken in the development of Grange Lane, I didn't get too many complaints on that. As you're doing this, I am not sure the extent of the surveys that have been done along the road for businesses. As when I toured Grange Lane, a few business persons came to me and said their ingress and egress was affected, and others who were not affected wanted to be specially accommodated. It's kind of hard to do the accommodations after the road is done. So if it is not done to that extent, then I would encourage you to, before you actually set the infrastructure and can't change, to have those kinds of conversations.
We have done, sir,
you have done. Good. Because when the road is already set, it's very difficult to make changes. But I'm very happy that we are on the way. 3 years, a long time, but we're here, and it's ready to be done.
I guess you'll say, Prime Minister, time come.
Not yours.
Time come.
Not yours.
MRNL.